Well, multitasking, I definitely mentioned that, right? And you, I mean, when you're asset managing, well, whether you're acquiring a multifamily, doing your due diligence, exploring the market, and then especially once you're running a deal, you are always multitasking. I mean, right before I met you, I probably had 5 things going on my computer. I'm like, okay, I've got to put these to the side for a minute because I'm going to be on with Peely, but I'm literally, that's why I'm known as the chief plate spinner in the company. I get shiz done. Okay? Want something to get done? Do you want 17 things to get done? I'm your person. And I do think that goes back to being a single parent and being able to put myself through school and not just, like a little community college. I graduated with highest honors from UC Berkeley while a single parent, so I have the biggest expectations of myself, and I pour that into everything. And I think starting out, especially being a parent, I knew I couldn't let that person down. And so that built that resilience in me that I think that I now reflect in everything, is to always do my best. There's no cutting corners. And as long as I'm always doing my best, what else can I say? I'm doing the best for everything. I also think that multifamily, you need to have empathy because we are creating homes for people. There's tenants that are living in those, and that's one of our audiences. And then we have investors, and it's really important for us who are, if you're a general partner, you're making decisions that impact both those audiences. And it's important to be able to empathize with those audiences and put yourself in their shoes. I sometimes think that people that have never had the opportunity to parent or chose not to parent, that they may have, they don't have as broad, I'm projecting here, maybe they do, they may not have as broad of an understanding, a deep understanding of humanity as you get with parenting. And especially when you parent more than one child. Because when we are just ourselves as a human being, we have our own thoughts and we think that everything kind of runs the way we think it runs. Then you have that first child and you learn how they think and how they experience the world, and you realize how different that person is from you, even though they come of you. And then you think you've got the parenting figured out. You're like, I know this, I know how people work, I got this, I am so good at this. And then comes the second child. And you're like, I know nothing. And I think that's such an important lesson in life to say that human beings are so varied. And I think it helps when you really embrace that knowledge and soak it in. I think it really helps looking at lots of situations in life and looking at other people and starting to understand that every person has their own road that they're walking, and you've got to be do your best for your residents that are living in your communities, and you have to do your best for your investors at all times. They become, your children. I don't want to say that in a patronizing way, but they are people that you should care deeply about, I guess I should say. And you need to put them first in a lot of light, while also balancing out your own needs as a general partner. And I don't want to forget about that. When we're parenting, we learn over time that we have to take care of ourselves, right? If we don't take care of ourselves, we are not very good parents because we're, running low. We start feeling, used, exhausted, snappy, etc. As a general partner, the same thing can happen, okay? And I don't just mean that we get overworked. I mean, if we don't structure our deals correctly, we could be pouring so many hours into a deal that really isn't returning anything for us. And it starts eating away at us, that we're not making this apartment that we thought was going to make such a difference in our lives is really a huge drain on our energy. Like, we're the last ones getting anything out of it. So I'm always trying to find, and I think this is true in parenting, you're trying to find win-win situations, right? Where it's a win for the child and it's a win for the parent. That's always it's a strategy of how to navigate, especially conflict resolution or growing up, how to give a toddler win-win situations that don't put the parents in a situation where they're now, because the kid's in a timeout, the parent's in a timeout too. So you want to be able to create win-wins with your investors and the general partners as well. I think that with parenting, There's a lot of hard decisions that come up, things that people are often blindsided by, something they never imagined parenting would be as hard as it is, right? Because they get this, oh, babies are so cute and I'm going to be such an awesome mom. My teenager's going to love me, But I think that being a syndicator can be the same thing, where people have these grand ideas of how wonderful it's going to be, and that money is just going to be raining in there, and the property manager is going to take care of everything, and my days are just going to be on the beach. Well, it's hard work, and there's a lot of hard decisions to be made, and a lot of communication, and you got to put on your big girl and big boy pants, and show up every day, because if you're using other people's money, if you're creating homes that people depend on, then you have a big responsibility, and you need to step up to it. I am the COO of Grocapitus, which is a syndication company in the Bay Area. We purchase value add, as well as we are also developers. We build apartment communities as well as fourplex communities. So if you're interested in investing in syndications to own shares of one of our communities, or you're interested in buying fourplexes and not sharing any ownership with anybody, just owning your own fourplex, you can reach out to us, www.grocapitus.com, Grocapitus. A lot of our investors, or I would say the majority of our investors, are really drawn to us because of our data-driven methodologies. So Neal and I, as technologists, the way we approach everything, how we pick markets, how we do our asset management, is all very quantitative, very systematic, and very data-driven. We teach about that in Multifamily University. We have a boot camp that we do a few times a year. That's a paid thing. But what you can get for free is you can join our webinars. We have free webinars typically every week. Neal speaking, different hosts speaking, different presenters speaking. I am the host for almost all of them. They're the ones that Neal is speaking. So please join us. No cost. Just come and learn about what's going on out there. Make a plan. One thing we didn't get into is how many different pivots I've had in my life. I was a programmer. I was a professional photographer of children and naked pregnant women for many years. And I've done many things, and I bring all of them into what I'm doing. But when I decided, every time I was going to pivot, I made a plan and gave myself milestones and goals to get there. So it doesn't just happen. Nothing just happens. You have to create a plan, create the space in your life to take action on that plan, and move forward. Always be moving forward.